Hello and welcome to our 12th episode of the Non-League Heroes podcast with your hosts, it's Dan Welch and Dan Waltley. Dan, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, mate. Very well. What about you?
Like you're about to take off then?
Well, I'm taking off tomorrow, mate. I'm flying to Disneyland Paris in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Taking my girls. It was their main Christmas present. So, yeah, I'm looking
Very
forward
good.
to that. Just going to put it out there. I was busy all weekend with my charity event for my uncle. It was a darts day. So, footballing wise for the weekend, I'm a little bit away from it all. Haven't really seen much. So, I'm hoping you, Dan, can fill us in. What's been going on?
Yeah, there's been some big results actually and some big implications in leagues. But firstly, for me, we suffered another defeat at home to Fleet Town, who are pretty much now cemented their place in the playoffs in the Combined County South in Step 5. So, yeah, that was a tough defeat to take. But, yeah, it's one more game. One win can change momentum, can't it? So we're still positive. We'll get that win soon, hopefully on Saturday, and then we can kick on again. But, yeah, other quite big results, really. Slough. Obviously, Worthing, we know we're going for the league title in the National League North. Got the games in hand. Everyone's tipping them as favourites, really, with the games in hand. But Slough went and dicked them 4-0 on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw that. That is the one thing that I did see. And the player manager, again, Scott Davies, with an absolute worldie of a free kick. He seems to be like a reoccurring thing for him.
He's like a joke, isn't he?
Yeah.
As soon as they need it, he comes in and bangs one in.
I think it's set pieces, but yeah, that's a mad result. Slough, I think that since the turn of the year, I don't think they've really picked up many points, have they?
No, they've really struggled since the turn of the year. They're one of those funny sides though. At home, you just never know what Slough's going to turn up. They could that. This is going to sound so stupid, but that game could have gone either way. Do you know what I mean? It could have been. On paper, it could have been 4-0 to Worthing, but yeah, it's 4-0 to Slough. It's just they're just one of those teams where at home they just pick up these mad results. Down the bottom of the table, Enfield Town as well in the National League South. They picked up their third win on the trot and moved out of the relegation zone. So they're on a great bit of momentum now, with Chesham falling in. So all change at the bottom as well as the top. So yeah, some big results there. And then, just elsewhere, Normal Macclesfield extended their league at the top of the Northern Premier, so they're looking to return to Step 2. Corn in the I think it's National Midlands. I'm not sure what the league's called, can't remember, but they're absolutely flying. I think they're about 20 points clear now, so they're pretty much confirmed to go up to Step 3. So, yeah, a lot of big results really with implications up and down the country over the weekend. Yeah, some big results. A big result for Real Bedford in your league with you dropping points.
Yeah, again, I spoke to the gaffer and he just couldn't believe it. Another sloppy goal late on. It just seems to be a habit that we just can't seem to break at the minute. But yeah, Barton Rovers are a very, very good side. And I think if you looked at it before the game, I think a point with the form that they're in, I think you probably would be happy with it. But I think in the manner of how we dropped the 2 points, the gaffer wasn't too pleased at all. And as you said, Real Bedford now with that game in hand, I'm pretty sure now if they win their game in hand, I don't think they'll be dropping. I don't think they'll be dropping. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say any points. I don't think they'd be dropping. We'd have to win every game, and they'd have to lose at least 3. And I don't think they've lost 3 all season. So
that's a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a massive ask, but we just have to keep going. And we've got Enfield on Saturday at home, which I'm looking forward to actually, because I missed Saturday through this event, and we had no midweek game, so I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Another tricky team. We played them at their gaff. We we battered them, and then they just every time we scored, they scored. It was really a weird game. And drew 2-2. It was on the 4G over at Hertford Town, so I'm looking forward to getting them down to the Glencar, and I think we should go and get another 3 points, and we'll be back to winning ways. But just one game tonight. It's the two clubs pretty much on St Albans City is on my doorstep. It's where I'm from, and versus Hemel Hempstead in the South, in the National League South, a massive Hertfordshire derby. Is that
the game that was postponed when the lights went out?
Yeah, exactly that. Got called off, didn't it? I think it was around about 15 minutes to go or something like that. With the game poised at 1-1, and obviously the floodlights went out, and the game is now being played tonight. Sulman City with 2 back-to-back 1-0 wins now, looking like they've turned a corner, and obviously Hemel Hempstead under Lee Allinson looked a completely different team. Haven't lost many games, so that is set up for a. It's
gonna be a cracker, that one.
Yeah,
and that's Monday night as we're recording. So
that is Monday night, and obviously, it's a game that I've been to over the years, probably 15, 20 times. We normally play around about the Boxing Day and New Year's Day, and it's always a massive attendance with some brilliant atmospheres. And I'm really excited to see how that one ends. But it's at Hemel, so I'm probably going to stick. I mean, I am a St Albans boy through and through, and I should really back St Albans City, but they've been a bit up and down over the years with some stupid decisions from the boards and that, and I really lost massive interest in them. So, but it's not for St Albans City win for me. I'm going to go with a Hemel win, hopefully.
Yeah, I think the pressure's on Hemel as well, especially being at home. And the form they're in. Obviously, St Albans have won those 2 games back to back.
That's right.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Hemel going into that game as favourites. And by the time this comes out, then we all know. We all know.
Yeah, no. If I was having this for my Dan's predict, I'd go with a 2-0 Hemel home win. But obviously, we can't.
Talking of derbies, non-league derbies, this Saturday is, for me, the biggest derby in non-league football. And I say non-league as in from the National League North and South down. Halesowen against Stourbridge, the number 9 derby. Obviously, if you're in and around non-league, you'll see the attendances and the atmospheres that this game draws in year on year. Halesowen in the playoff positions, but I don't think Stourbridge are that far down either. So that's going to be a huge game with massive attendance, a great atmosphere, and all the hallmarks of a classic. But I don't know if you follow you Yelts on Twitter. I wanted to touch on this.
Yeah, so I was looking at it earlier when you.
Yeah, last night they released a manifesto of 10 suggestions to improve non-league. So let me run through it, and then let me ask you what you think. So number 1, ban fees to agents. No non-league player should have an agent anyway. That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Number 2, removal of the betting markets.
Yeah.
They're saying it's only a matter of time till we get a fixing scandal. But for me, who is someone who likes to throw my money away on non-league football, I don't remove it, please.
I can understand, but you're right. There is going to be something sooner or later.
Soon. There's too much money in there.
Yeah.
2-legged playoff semi-finals. Totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
Accessibility for disabled fans to be part of ground grading. Totally agree with that.
Totally.
Same as defibrillators around the ground. This one I like. Meet and greet. Open training sessions pre-season for local kids and schools to come.
Yeah, that's something I strongly agree on. I've done it at Coney Heath. I had to try and get something back to, because it was really like a men's team and a load of youth teams, and it was just completely cut. So my job when I first went over there with Matty Day was to get that bond back together. And then once you've got that bond, the increase in gates and obviously there'll be a mascot, and then their parents come, then they'll bring a family friend or a friend, and it's just all money going into the club. So that's such a good way.
It's such a good way to
it's
bring
an easy
that community
way.
together.
It's an easy way. I've been
and
doing it,
and it's cheap. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm doing it with Burko now.
Yeah, teams in our league in the Combined County South have done it. and they're giving away tickets to local schools, every child in the local school, and they're getting attendances of like 600-700 people. Like obviously they're one-offs or like certain games, but the money they generate elsewhere, the bar, the food. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a great
Great
incentive. Number 7, mandatory insurance. Too many GoFundMe pages and too many stupid little shin pads that the players wear getting injured. Insured. This one I like, moving county cups to pre-season.
Yeah.
So how many, like when you play at the end of the season, all your games are backlogged and you're playing Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And then they're going to chuck a cup in there. Do you know what I mean? I like that one. A nice competitive pre-season.
Mm-hmm.
They got a central registration system that is probably a secretary's thing. And then shared buying power. So using local, I guess this is teams for more in like a dense area. So like yourselves, using all local trades to kind of service all the local clubs, which is good. But yeah, I just wanted to know your thoughts on some of them because I think it's a great discussion point from them, to be honest.
Well, I agree with probably 6 or 7, maybe 8 of them. I mean, it's definitely something. I mean, everyone wants non-league is growing. There's no two ways about it, and it's getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, I mean, there is things like that. I mean, the problem is
you got to get the buy-in from people who don't like change.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And I've been at many a club, and I've heard from many people that these people that have these clubs, they want it exactly how it is. And yeah, if you're going to do that, you need someone who's going to be in there with progression. And the chances are the person that's been there for 30, 40 years of their life, and they've been stuck in the same ways for 30, 40 years of their life, they ain't going to want to change it. And but yeah, I strongly agree with all of that. And it's a very good talking point for non-league, because we all want the best for non-league. I think non-league's now becoming more competitive week in, week out, from the top to even down at step 5, step 6 now. And everyone wants change, and everyone wants it to go and pull in the right direction. So yeah, no, I strongly agree with pretty much most of that, apart from
what about an added one, which I've been thinking about, is wage caps. Based on. So I don't think if you've got the money, you should cap the wages, because that's just life. That's football, right? That's business. But how about it kind of indexes into attendances and revenue from like the bar or from the food van? Not in Jersey's case, as Ollie said.
Well, I might be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that the term wages, I don't think they're allowed to use it anymore, for accounts and all that stuff. So they put it down as expenses. So
true.
Is there a way around it? Because I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, of course there is.
I'm pretty sure that
brown envelopes, isn't
it? Exactly. I'm pretty sure most players now have been told not to be like, oh, get the wages and all this.
Yeah.
I think the correct term now is expenses. So in a way, I think it's a good idea, but me personally, I don't think they could get around it, because now
you can't police it, can you?
No, you can't police it, and expect everything can be done around the backhand. But I think you could see some clubs, they do, like I'd say Real Bedford, they do it, but they do it in completely the right way. They've got the right people in, the right players. But then a wage cap on some clubs that pump all this money in, and by Christmas they're nowhere near the top, pull the budget, and they start getting slapped every week. Yeah, that's something that needs to be
sustainable, is it? They need to be sustainable, as we spoke about
exactly.
And just talking about sustainability, going back to the 3 up, 3 down. I read an article in the non-league paper over the weekend by Gregor Robertson, the ex-Grimsby Town player. He said no promoted team has been immediately relegated since the system of re-election came to an end, and one automatic spot was awarded in 1987. Of the 9 clubs relegated from the EFL in the past 5 seasons, only one, Grimsby Town in 2020-21, has been promoted back to League 2. So that is what we were saying probably a couple of weeks ago, maybe. I think it was with Peter McCormack, where the EFL teams are shitting themselves
Yeah,
because
no,
only one's come back up in the last 5 years.
it is time for this 3 up, 3 down, and it's something that goes back from when I even mentioned when Luton were in it. Luton were probably the best team in it. You'd think on paper for 5 years, but they weren't. There was teams like your Wrexhams, like your Notts Counties, and all them sort of teams in and around.
Yeah,
that's 3 established football league clubs there, right there with the fans, with the following, with the grounds. They are football league clubs, and yes, they drop out. They drop out probably because they deserve to, or they're not good enough. They drop out for, like, Luton had the administration thing. We got a 30-point deduction, completely out of our hands, and then we've just come back, right? But some clubs in League Two, it's similar, because I think when these clubs are struggling down at League Two, it's mainly because they just can't compete. So it's time to start getting rid of some more, like 3, and then bring in the 3 clubs, because you see the 3 clubs in Football League, they're struggling for a reason, because they can't compete.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't compete. And then you look at the top probably 5, 6 clubs in the National League Premier, they can all compete, and if they get promoted, they can compete again. So in my personal opinion, that is something that needs to be done.
Well, in the past 10 seasons of it being 1 automatic and 1 playoff place, the average finish of both of those clubs has been between 11th and 14th in League Two. They're not even fighting relegation, and no team that has gone up has immediately gone back down since 1987.
Yeah.
So that it just, I mean, the stats are there. It's the evidence is there. Those clubs are better than the ones at the bottom of League Two. It's as simple as that.
100%, and it's something that will happen. It's just a matter of time now, and rightly so, because you are seeing so much better football teams now in the National League. It's
a 5th division, isn't it? Let's
I mean,
Charlie Ross said it last week on the pod. He doesn't see it as a non-league division.
No, you're right, but yeah, that's something that we're going to be keeping tabs on over the next few months or whatever.
Over summer, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think I've just got the nod that our first guest is in the waiting room. So if we can intro him, and I was correct, our first guest of the evening is waiting in the meeting room. It's the current Risborough Rangers manager, Kevin Christou. Kevin, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
You all right?
Thanks for inviting me on. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's brilliant. We've got another manager on in a bit, so we thought we'd have an episode just on a couple of managers. Obviously, you've been at a few clubs, but first of all, just give our list. No, well, all in good faith, mate. You're good at what you do, but yeah, just give our listeners a little bit of a background about your playing career and your managerial career.
Just bouncing around non-league, playing really. I played as a keeper. I've always been a keeper since I was a young lad. Ended up, I just bounced around lots of non-league clubs like Erith Town, and been over like Kent Way, and then played for the Met Police. And then I came up to Spartan because one of my pals, his mum's other half, was managing at Harpenden at the time, doing the reserves at Harpenden, and like I was in my 30s, and he was like, "Oh, do you want to come do a bit over here?" So I went there, played for the first team at Harpenden for a while, then moved to Welwyn Garden City for a little bit, and just carried on bouncing around between like from step 3 down to step 99, wherever my game took me really. So I retired with due to ankle injuries and like ligaments and stuff like that, and just ended up falling into management at reserve level to start off with. So felt the pain of being a reserve team manager. No corner flags, no linesmen, no clean kit, all that malarkey. First team gaffer nicking all your players on Saturday morning, all that. So I've grown up with all that. So and then like I've just been fortunate with some moves really. Like I got some real good experience at St Margaret's under Lee Judges when Lee Judges was about and throwing things in changing rooms and smashing holes in walls and calling everyone a cunt. Like, learn from there. And then like I've done a bit at Royston with Paul Atfield and learned a load off him. And like then moved to like Hoddesdon and places like that. Just moved around really, but doing coaching roles, assistant manager roles. Went over to like Holbridge with Darren Manning. And like learned a lot from there as well with the other coaches and just went around learning from like other managers and other coaches and like I've always thought like as a keeper I've always thought I knew it all because every keeper does. Every keeper thinks they know the game inside out. So I think it just fell that way really. So just went around learn as much as I could. So
what's the biggest lesson you've taken from all those different pieces of learning?
Man management, like how you handle the players, like knowing which player that you can call a cunt and you can like literally rip the shit out in the dressing room, and then knowing the players that you can't, the players that need like a phone call or every day and everyday text or just the way they're told they're playing or not playing or how you get them through training. So yeah, and I learned different things from different people that like Darren Manning, Lee Judge, Paul Atfield, like to name three, are totally different characters, but they've all got something good about it. So every one of them has got something really good about them, and it's just a matter of taking a bit of all of that and a bit of my own like knowledge and the way I am in life in general, and my whole working life, rolling that all into one, and then you sort of find your own way.
Yeah, that's good. Is it true that all goalkeepers ain't wired up properly? Because I hear it from everyone that
so.
every goalkeeper is fucking mad.
Yeah. And I think you've got different actual stages of like absolute fucking lunatic off the chart, like don't go near them, or like just a little bit mad. Like at the end of the day, like I was a keeper, like grew up in the 80s, like as a keeper. So like getting a kick in the nose and a stud in the kneecap or like absolutely levered at the age of 9, like in full-size goals as well. Not like today where they're like 5-a-side goals, like
Coca-Cola goals.
2'2", like in a full-size goal on a Sunday, getting pelted and peppered and thinking you've had a good day after letting 11 in. But yeah, I think like you've got to be absolutely
mad as a...
Yeah, and I think probably not as much now as you did back in the day, because I think keepers are protected a bit more, but they're still mental. Like I don't know,
some keepers absolutely mad, coming out studs up, catching the ball, not even going for the ball. Yeah, used to be.
I mean, like my current keeper now, like my back four tell me that he barks when he comes out for corners, and like, I mean, it just ain't natural, is it? Like, but it's unsettling. Like, I don't know how I'd feel as a centre forward. Like, you go up to header a ball and then some geezer's barking at you. So,
I mean, obviously, you know Connor Sansom as well. I mean, I've watched him for years, mate, and he's the reason why I think I have to agree with people that keepers are mad as a box of frogs, because he's one seriously unwell.
Honestly, you just got different levels from absolute lunatic down to lunatic. Like there's you could probably open an asylum just with keepers.
Yeah. So all right, Kev, let's take it back then. What was your first team managerial job?
On my own, as my own number one was Tring, winning at Tring, Howard Wells. I've just come out of Holbridge. Holbridge just won step 5 in the Essex Senior. Going step 4. Could have stayed there. Could have stayed on. Darren wanting to keep us all together. But I was fortunate enough to meet Howard Wells over at Tring at the time, and I stepped in there with Howard, and that was my first senior number 1 first team job was that. And
obviously, I remember that season you were flying, weren't you?
Yeah, it was us and Coney Heath. Between us, every week one of us was either first and the other one was second, and it would change every week in, week out. Like Tomo had a great side over there. Some great players. Like, and we had a great side at Tring with some great players, and I mean, that was it. Ended up being the COVID season, but it was or the first COVID season.
Yeah.
But it was going to be one of us two. Like, it was going to be. There was no one else in contention. I think third place at the time was like 15, 16 points away from us, and we both had games in hand on them. So it was only going to be one of us that won the league at that time. But unfortunately, COVID come along and destroyed the league destroyed the country for everybody at the time, not just football. But so it was definitely.
I think after those COVID seasons, when the teams were top, you saw it up and down the country with the teams that were top of the COVID that got curtailed. The next season, they were nowhere near it. Do you think that was more of a mentality thing or a coincidence? I mean, I think
you'll probably find it. I think you'll probably find it was a mixture of a bit of confidence, a mixture of
money being pulled,
people not really wanting to come out and play, and then a lot of it was probably financial as well. Clubs have just lost like a year and a half of bar money and gate receipts, and not only that, I think the people that were putting money into clubs obviously were from businesses themselves, so they obviously felt the strain as well. So I think football felt it a little bit, and some players were like, right, I ain't coming out there if I ain't getting my dough, I ain't coming out. And some players took it. So I think it was a bit of that really more than anything. I think it's more financial, to be honest.
It's interesting.
Yeah. So obviously Tring, and then obviously whatever happened at Tring, you left, and then
it happened. When I went from Tring over to Oxley Jets with John, probably one of the most well-known chairmen in football going at non-league, John over at Oxley Jets. Absolutely. Again, I don't think John's ever played football, but if he did, he would have been a keeper because he's absolutely fucking bonkers.
All the traits of a keeper.
He's got honestly, apart from he's like 2'3", he's got the traits and the mentality of a keeper. He's absolute lunatic. But the guy is a real hero. Like, I don't care what, like, people have got a lot of opinion about him, and people, some are good or some are bad, but he was unreal to me, unreal to my family, more importantly. Like, my first game there, actually, my little boy was born that day, and that was my first game there. And like, he took my little boy on, like, him and his sister were amazing. Had his first birthday at that club. Like, he's just unreal. What the bloke does for football is at that club anyway. Like, and they've had good news. Like, they're getting their AstroTurf eventually. The council go and do the clubhouse up. So, like, lovely place, lovely people. Never had to buy. I never bought a beer in that club, so I was always even more happier. Last week. You know, it ended. I was there for I went in there and they were second from bottom. Like, I think there was only 4 players at the club at the time, and I went in there and we took them up to 8th. No money, not a penny was there. So we took them up to 8th in that first season in the Spartan, and like, it was a real good team. It was a real good atmosphere in the changing room. And it just worked. It just happened to just work, and it was probably more luck than anything else. Like, I had great coaching, Matt Coker alongside me, and some real good players. You know, players that have gone on to now play step 1, step 2, and step 3 as well. So, you know, Henry Dudley we brought in at 16 at the time. You know, signed at Bedford now, playing a bit at Kings Langley. Kyle Williams, we got him from step 7. And he went up to step 2, and I think he's over at Leighton now, banging in goals. So, you know, we had some real good youngsters. And then, like, the second season, we got moved to the combined counties, and like, we was playing in, like, we might as well have been playing on Mars or the moon, but a distance of travel. Oxley Jets to like Oxford City or somewhere like that, which is ridiculous. And I'm trying to ask players that we don't even pay, like. You know, we don't. John done everything for the players. You know, they wanted for nothing. Like, anything that he could do. There was just no money to pay the players. So you're asking someone who lives in like Hendon to travel to Oxford.
That's mad.
It's a lot of travel in steps, isn't it?
Yeah. So like, and I think that year, like they were step 5 at the time, and it was just awful. And I left. Me and John parted ways after like 10 games. I left there after, and and they got relegated. I was there for nine games, and it just wasn't happening. No matter what I'd done, I couldn't get players to travel, and so we parted ways on good terms. Like Tom Inch, love the guy, still there now, and so and unfortunately that season Tom couldn't keep him up. They got relegated, so a bit sad to see for him, but
yeah, that is sad.
And now you're back in that league yourself.
Yeah, I'm now back in that league again, doing the travel. But I've only been there since Christmas, so I've only got to do after travel. So, But just quickly, just quickly on Risborough. Like, obviously, I don't know if you guys have seen, but obviously, the passing of our chairman passed away Sunday morning, early morning, due to a heart attack. So, just want to say to anyone that's listening from Risborough or anything like that, like the guy was, I knew him 2 months. And I've never seen a guy with such a smile on his face and love for a club. So he's going to be a massive loss to Risborough. He's been there, like he's the foundation of the club. The guy done every job at the club. Was in the run the junior teams as well, stuff like that. So he's a real Risborough man. So I just want to say to anyone from Risborough and his family as well, like my condolences, my thoughts and prayers are with them, and just a sad time really for a lot of people at the club. That I haven't been there long enough for it really to hurt me as some of the others. But so just wanted to say my condolences and prayers to them people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, and our thoughts from everyone at Non-League Heroes as well. That I was going to mention it earlier, but you mentioned it now. That is a very sad day for the club, and we send our prayers and thoughts to his family and everyone at Risborough Rangers. So let's just take it back before Risborough. FC Romania, Coney Heath. Let's
so Coney Heath. I went in as the number 2 to George. Right, George is another one as well that you either absolutely think the geezer's an absolute prick and think he's a knob, or you absolutely love him. There's no in between with George. He's proper Marmite, and I love the guy. I know people text me and say he's a prick. How do you like him? But like he's an absolute diamond. Like I love him to death. Like take him away. There's nothing he wouldn't do for me. If I rang him up now and I was in Scotland and I had a flat tire and he'll go and get me a wheel. He'll do anything for you. And I love him to death. So went in with him. They were in a bit of bad shape. Brought in some players that I knew for that level and for that sort of fight that was needed. And I think come down to like we played Holliston second from last game, and we lost. And I was like, we're done. We're toast. Like I'm going to be the person that's going to have Coney Heath on relegated, and I didn't know what to do. And then we played Potton last game of the season over at their place, and we nicked a 1-0, and that kept the club up. And I've never felt so much relief in all my life. Like I've never in my career as a player or a manager or a coach been in that situation, and it's just horrible. But last day of the season to be able to keep the club up, and I know that Wolfie and all the gang over there were more relieved than me. But what a great club Coney Heath is. Like I know it's got this drinking history and everything, and Woodsy and the rest of them and Tomo and all that, but take them away from it. The people at the club are great people. They really are. Another club that opened their heart to my family. My little boy was running around the clubhouse, smashing the place up, and they just let it happen. And,
I totally echo.
I don't know if it's because they're scared of them or what. But what a great club that real. If you want to talk about family and community and stuff like that, you're not going to find one of the better clubs than you are at Coney Heath. No matter what people think about it from the outside about drinking and everything else about it, just as a community club, it's unreal. It really is. So but
I agree. And then George, obviously in the summer, you and George and you parted ways with Coney Heath. If it was a mutual, was it?
George just rang up and said he wasn't staying there anymore. Like him and the committee had a chat and said, just part ways, call it a day. And I was like, "You all right?" He said he's going Romania, not the country, but the club. He's going FC Romania, and he wanted me to go with him. And that they had some really good backing and some really good plans, and I bought into it, like massively bought into it. Building a new stadium, found land, like the money man met him, had a big fucking powwow with this dude around the table, and promises were made and budgets were set, and proper excited. Like I brought Matt Coker in with me as like my right hand, and like I built a title-winning team. I ain't gonna blow my own trumpet about it, but I really did. The team that we had first game of the season. Like I think if you ask Pete at Real Bedford, he'll tell you he come down to watch his first game, and he said he was shitting himself. Like he said never seen anything like it, and the side was ridiculous. And it's amazing. Like you have all of that, and then people sometimes just don't get on. It's that easy to say. Like on the owner, had the club from day dot, brought them through Sunday league to Saturday, rah, 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 rah. But if you don't get on, you don't get on. And like, that's it. And it got to the point where I think I was going to throw punches at some point, and like, and I weren't. I was going to proper lose it. So I just said, you know what? I just got to leave. It's just the best thing I'll do if I leave, because like I'm taking it too personal, and I just walked Friday night before the FA Cup against I think they're playing Sittingbourne. I think it was Sittingbourne, something Step Freeside.
Just quickly on that, Kev. So, is that because you've obviously, I know you was an assistant to George, but when you've been your own first team manager, how hard is it to then become an assistant manager? Because
I haven't got a problem with that. I went into Coney as the number 2, and like, you can probably talk to all the players. Like George, me and George would chat all the time about the team, and 99% we would agree. There's that time you don't agree, and like you just roll with it. As a number 2, you just roll with that. You just accept that's going to happen, and you roll with it. But I had a lot in the changing room. I had a lot of clout in the changing room. Like George allowed me a lot of say in that dressing room. So like before a game, half time, I had it. So when we went to Romania, and George stepped away from the team, so I become the number 2 to Ion.
Yeah.
And mate,
totally different.
Like, I can get on with anybody. Like you can put me in the room with the poshest people, or you can put me in a room with the poorest people, and I could chat away to either one and be comfortable. But with him, it was a different kettle of fish. Like so I won't name names, but there was a couple of players there that fuck it. So like Zenon, for example, used to get right on my nerves, right? Like he's unreal player. His ability-wise, he should be playing professional football. Without a doubt, he should be playing professional football. The geezer's different level. But you saw that level like for 5 minutes every like 50 years. And that's why he's not playing. And that's why he's not playing professional football. And there'll be games like, so it was the FA Vars, he was playing Buckhurst Hill, who were absolutely fucking shit. And we're 0-0 at them. And me and Matt said to Ion at half time, you've got to take Zenon off. He's killing us. He needs to come off the pitch. And he's like, nah, he's staying on. And in fact, he doesn't just keep him on. He takes off an unreal player, moves Zenon out the wide to the left side. And their gaffer has just like thought Christmas has come along And like he looks like he look on his face looked like someone just told him he's getting a £5,000 hooker for free. And he sees Zellon down left. He takes off his right back and puts on an extra right winger, and doesn't even play with right back, and just killed us for 2 goals down the right. So after the game, me and Matt are like, seriously, pal, that's killed us. And he said, yeah. Totally admit, made mistakes, won't happen again. We learn from our mistakes. And I was like, all right, we're taking a step in the right direction. Like, it's not going to happen again. And we'll be all right. So,
do you think that's why they're struggling this season then?
No, next week. Yeah, well, the following week, he done exactly the same thing. And me and Matt were like, just can't deal with this.
No.
Like, I just, there's no point me being there if I'm not, like, it's like
being undermined,
It's like having a sparky around your house when you only need a plumber. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And we will touch on this mainly, but I mean, I think this season, I think Dan just said that they're completely struggling now, aren't they? So.
Yeah, So the main money man. So to put everyone straight, like because there's a lot of chit chat, right? So the main money man at Romania left last season well early into the season. I mean, really early. So the £1,600 a week everyone was talking about, which it wasn't, by the way, but the £1,600 everyone was talking about wasn't there after 4 weeks.
Right.
So from week 4 till the end of the season, till they hit the playoff final, all those players were playing for free. So, so to put that, one thing I will say is that because a lot of people spoke about it and said, no, that's bullshit. And I'm telling you now, on my little boy, from about week 4, week 5, that dough got pulled, and and so the players that did stay, and there was a lot of them, like were there for free. So I tip my hat to some of them boys that were promised some serious dough at the start, and then didn't get nothing. So, and they made the playoff final. So.
Yeah, they've done really well last season. Yeah, they were brilliant.
Shit in the playoff final, to be fair. So,
yeah. So, anyways, Christmas came around a couple of months ago, and what did you get a phone call? How did it come out? The new Rangers manager.
I had a chat with Risborough in the summer, and they obviously went with Mark Jonah. And on paper, you look at Mark Jones and go, why wouldn't you take him? It's step 5 and the geezer's league experience and step 1 and step 2. So I sort of took that on the chin and thought, fair play. And then I got a phone call in December asking if I would go in. So I had a couple of meetings with Mark Eaton, who I knew through played against him a couple of times when his team were flying and I was at Oxley. Had a chat with him and a couple of committee members. And look, I've been to Risborough a couple of times and the place is amazing. Like, when I say the place, I don't mean the pitch or the changing rooms because they're the worst I've seen in my life. But honestly, you might as well get changed outside. It's warmer outside than it is in the changing rooms. But the people there, are again, they're another Coney Heath people. And they are just unreal. They won't. There's nothing they won't do for you. Everyone's doing their bit over there. Mark Eaton's working really hard off the pitch and got us set up now so that the club can really go forward. The youth team are now getting on board with the first team. We're going to be one team, one complete club, which is great to see. So that we can really push with the youth and really work as one big club. And it just benefits everybody in the long run. If that's the case, but they are just real. I mean, I love the fact I went and watched the game, and when you go to a game, right, and the geezer comes around going 50-50, winning goal, blah blah, and you're just going, no, mate, sorry, I ain't got no change, so you don't even have to get involved in it. You can't do that at Risborough because the geezer pulls out a card machine, and he's so. It's just little things like that that make me make it just a real great place, and they've got some great people in there, and so I've got in December. The club, the club's massive. I can't lie, the club's massive. And then when I went in, being 18th was just like ridiculous. Mark Jones obviously struggled with recruitment and players. And to be fair, I think if I flip that, if I went to a Step 1 club now, I would struggle with recruitment for players. That's a fact. And I think it's the reverse for him. He's coming to a Step 5 club, and his black book is totally different for a Step 5 club. And if you're asked, if you know players at Step 4, asking them to come to a Step 5 club isn't a big ask. But if your playbook is Step 1, Step 2, and you go, "Oh, can you come and play for me?" Yeah. Where are you? I'm at Step 5.
Yeah,
the phone's probably gone. So I think that was the case. So, I mean, I've gone in. I can't lie. I think there's 3 players left of the squad from the first day to now. So I've changed the squad totally. I've been there 6 games, 2 losses the first 2 games, and the first one was like 1-0 against Ardley. Joe Fitzgerald has taken an axe to this geezer's knees in the penalty box.
You wouldn't expect anything less.
I'm surprised the geezer has got any legs. He's absolutely levered him in the box, so that killed us for 1-0. We went to Harefield and were dominating for 41 minutes, and then suddenly we thought we were playing blind football for 4 minutes, and that someone had taken the bell out of the ball and not told us, and we give away the worst 2 goals I've ever seen, and then we nick a couple of draws, which we should have. And we played Burnham, we're winning. We score a real scrappy goal, and then we're 98 minutes in, and the fucking geezer taps it in back post and kills us for a 1-0. But then the last 2 games we've won and won well as well. We won at Hilltop, should have won by a lot more. And to be fair, they're a great side, but we've done them there and on the Astro, and it should have been a lot more. And then Saturday, one previous Saturday last week, we won as well, 3-1. They will tell you that the referee was absolutely shocking, and he's killed them, and he's done that. I'll probably say that the referee's killed them, and he was absolutely shocking and done me a right turn. So we played really well. We beat them 3-1. Should have probably been about 5 or 6, to be fair. Referee has a bit of a howler, but that's the way it is. So we was really looking forward to this Saturday. Confidence was going. Squad was on a roll. And then the pitch is just absolute shit there. And a bit of rain has killed us. So, we're on a bit. So we're stuck this week. But we now go into Saturday, Tuesday, every week, starting next week, right up until end of the season, really. So
and a tough one on Saturday as well with Amersham.
Yeah. I mean, our next run, it's not even funny. So we was meant to have Virginia Water Saturday, then Amersham, and then I think it's Egham, and then I think we got the top 5 over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, some tough games.
And then we've got Stoke City, aka Reading City, at their place.
That's if they don't get any rain, because that'll be off.
Oh, mate, I have never seen a team that have got a throw that's longer than a train. It's ridiculous to this throw. He throws it from anywhere, and it's really? He makes Rory Delap look like he's got a short throw. The geezer just absolutely rifles it. So I think they had about. It felt like they had 50 corners in a game, in the first half.
Non-stop.
Probably better putting out for a corner.
They're just honestly, they are relentless. But so we've got a real like Saturday Amersham massive arse. But if I'd have had that game 3 weeks ago, I would have said, like, if I come out of there 2-0 on the back of a loss, I'll take it on the chin. But going there now with what we put together and the way that we're starting to play, like, I'm going there with a competitive attitude and saying, people are saying to me, "Oh, they've got Jake Tabor," and I'm saying to them, "I've got Ali Bangura."
Yeah.
So, you want so? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to go player for player, I'll put them two head to head quite easily. But then they've also got Lewis Stead. Like everyone talks about Jake Tabor, but Jake Tabor's not like taking goal kicks, saving penalties, like clearing corners. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's rattling the goals up. And look, I had Jake at Oxley, so I know him as a lad as well. But it's not. He's just not. Amersham aren't just Jake Tabor.
Of course,
They've got other things going for him. So
you can't be top of the league if you haven't got a spine of a squad.
Yeah, so I'm not going there with the attitude of how do I stop Jake Tabor. We're going with the attitude is how do we get a win? And I honestly think that we can do something. I'm not saying we'll beat them, but like 3 weeks ago we would have got battered 7-0 by them, I would have thought. But now I think it's a different kettle of fish. So
they got beat on the weekend as well, so they got beat.
Yes, but they'll be up for it. So like they'll want to. I'm sure Stuart will want a reaction from that. It gives Egham a little bit closer to them up there for the promotion, and it's still only 1 up, isn't it, this season? So
1 up automatic in the playoffs.
Yeah. So like they've got to get that spot. So like, look, they're not easy anyway with the squad that he's got over there, but you just got to hope that a little bit of pressure on them, a little bit of luck. A referee probably, if I can get last Saturday's ref back again, he can throw out an early red on the 16th minute.
Yeah.
To be fair, I have to look at their bench and go, that's a little bit that. So football gods, bit of luck, you never know. But we're certainly in a better position now than the club was a few weeks ago. I will say I'm just glad that because the chairman Richard, before he passed away, he'd missed one of our wins because he'd just come out of hospital, and so I'm really glad that he was able to be there last Saturday for and see us get a win. So he was really looking forward to the Saturday just gone before the game got called off. But so I'm just glad we was able to get one in for him, but whilst he was still about at home. So that made us a bit happier as well.
Yeah, that's a touching little moment for you all. But listen, Kev, it's been absolutely unreal to have you on, mate. It's been very, very enjoyable. Some funny stories there. But yeah, listen, we wish you all the very best at Risborough Rangers.
Thank you.
I've been following you for a few years now, obviously.
Yes, because I'm your best customer. That's why.
I like to see how my best customers are going in and around the non-league circuit. But yeah, listen, thanks for coming on, mate.
Gents, it's a pleasure. I'm glad that you've. I can fill a gap. Real pleasure to be on. Love your show.
Really appreciate it.
No, cheers, Kev. Cheers, Brent. Keep going. Enjoy yourselves.
See you later, mate. Thank you.
See you later, pal.
See you later, Kev. And that was the Kev Christou, the current Risborough Rangers manager. But now we are moving on to our second guest at the show. He has been viral very recently to his sideline dugout actions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the AFC Welling manager, Brett Donnelly. Donnelly, how are you?
All right, fellas, how we doing? Well, gee, Dan, nice to
meet you, mate. How are you?
Turn that around. Is it about like that?
Oh,
there we go. Yeah, that's
go. Yeah, that's a bit better.
I'm right above, mate, am I? Hold on.
How's things?
Fucking hell. Sorry, lad.
Technology,
Ain't for me.
Perfect. Yeah, how's things, Brett?
All good, mate. good time to talk, isn't it, after Saturday? So
Yeah, definitely.
we don't win 11-0 very often. So
No,
yeah,
well,
today's a good one.
I just mentioned that a bit earlier, but yeah. So listen, before we get into everything, tell the listeners a little bit about you. I know you as a very good player as well as a manager. So yeah, just give us a little insight as to where you've been and what you've done.
Yeah, started playing when I was 17 for Barton Rovers. That's a long time ago now. Was that 2000, 2001? Loved. I was dragged up from with my dad. My dad took me to non-league. He played well. He's at Luton as a boy, Barnet, and then he done the non-league stuff as well. So I went with him every Saturday, me and my brothers, and then got the bug really. I didn't think I was ever going to make it as a pro. I wasn't good enough for one, but discipline-wise, on and off the field, nowhere near it. So I knew for a fact that Friday night when I was 17 was going out. So Saturday, if I could earn a few quid playing football, I was quite happy. But playing at the bottom, done all right, but it was in a poor side. And then I had a good couple of years at Potton, scored loads and loads of goals. Wish I was Jake Tabor now. I was scoring them. So I think I got 120 goals in 2 years and never got a sniff anywhere. But just went up the leagues, went from step 6 to step 3 in about 4 years, and I loved it. Hitchin, we had a great time. Hitchin had a great time at Biggleswade. They're probably the two clubs that I hold dearest to my heart because I spent nearly 11 years at them two clubs, and more for the off the field stuff than on the field. But I loved playing. I think I made the most of what I had. Really, I wasn't the greatest player in the world, but I think if you can scare people, upset people, and intimidate people, it goes a long way.
Yeah, most centre halves wouldn't like someone like that. I never got to see you play, but just from what I can see now, I can imagine you as an absolute handful.
I'm just a bit of a prat, really. Just like to wind people up.
Yeah, so you got up to step 3. I mean, is that as far as you went, or what happened?
Yeah, got promoted with Biggleswade step 3. Played there a couple of years. Then went to Hitchin. Played 5 years at Hitchin at step 3. That was hard as I could go. I was limited in what I could do. I was not quick, but I was strong. As a kid, as when I come through as a kid, and when I got early on in my career, I was a goal scorer. But then you fill out a little bit, and you're not the kid. You're not that young boy anymore. You don't run in behind. You don't. I just wanted to stand still a bit more, and they few clubs turned me into a target man. My dad is a target man. Showed me what to do, and all of a sudden the goals dried up. But I become a probably better all-round player. But yeah, I was never good enough. I knew what I was there for. You had Becco on last week. Ideal for me. We'd have both been sent off if we played against each other very often. I think I beat his record in terms of Reds. Put it that way.
Yeah, you just mentioned Becco. You and Becco, fucking hell, that could be fireworks, wouldn't it?
That would, yeah.
Just even thinking about it.
Yes, I'll have to get a Vets game out. Yeah, of course.
I played against him the other year. He played up front though.
Oh, well,
we beat him 14-0.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. So obviously your playing days come to an end, and you became a manager.
Yeah, gutted, if I'm honest. COVID killed me. I was 38. COVID hit, and I was still playing a little bit pitching. I was coaching, but I was still playing. Well, just before I played the last few games before COVID, and felt all right. Not quite where I wanted to be, but I could still do a job at step 3 at that age. But 2 years COVID, I was never going to get back into it.
Yeah.
I no discipline. I looked after myself off the field, but not enough to be playing that level. It's tough, isn't it? And then the Stockfold job come up, so I thought, I wanted to do it myself. Anyone who's been involved in it, you want to do things your own way. When I was with Berkey Hitchin, he'd done his things his way. There's probably things I wanted to do differently, so I thought, I'll go have a go. Good club, new ground, Stockfold, step 6. So I realistically thought, surely we'll piss that. It's dog shit, isn't it? But it wasn't as easy as that. I dropped down and thought, it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But we did manage to win the league, bounced up to step 5, got promoted in the playoffs again. That season was probably one of the greatest things, achievements-wise, football-wise, because we weren't the best. We weren't the second best team. Leighton were decent with Birchie. Risborough, they had market and had all the money. They were flying at the time. They another 2 weeks when they got caught. Dunstable with Joe Deeney. we just held on. We had Mason. I know I spoke to Mason. We had Mason with us and just helped us get over the line. And we had some good players like Woodsy and people like that. We sort of had a great off the field that got us a few extra points that probably other teams didn't have. And to get promoted through the playoffs was unbelievable. And then step 4, different. It's completely different to. I said this to someone the other day. Steps 6 and 5, you can get away with not doing things quite right. But once you get to step 4, you've got to start doing things properly. It's a big business now. Well, to you at Burko, you know it's like.
Yeah, it is.
Boys on proper money now.
Yeah, I mean, what you let's go back to Stotfold quickly. I mean, what you've done at Stotfold is amazing. I mean, you were at Coney Heath, I was over there. Your teams were always just very well drilled, very organised. And is that what you base your managerial abilities on, being well drilled and organisations?
I think if you haven't got the budget to get the top players, you've got to make it hard for other teams. And we didn't. Our budget at Stotfold step 5 was probably bottom half, really. So you make sure everyone knows their jobs, and you make it hard for other teams. You ain't got to be, like I said, I always bring it back to what you could do. Was I technically the best? No. Would I make life hard for a centre half? Yeah. Would I run around for 90 minutes? Yeah. Basic stuff. You don't need to be good at football. That's just what you should be doing. So we make our teams do that. Yeah,
exactly right. I mean, you've got to play to your strengths, basically. So how many seasons did you have at Stotfold in step 4? The first season?
That was first season, yeah. Then I left.
Yeah, so obviously your dream job arose. I mean, I know you've spoke about it loads of times and on different platforms, but it's only right that we ask you. You got the Hitchin Town job, and that was your dream job.
I said to the chairman at Stotfold, was like, I had a couple of offers over the time I was there from clubs and leagues above, but realistically, there was probably 3 jobs that I would have gone. I would have left for. One of them I was never going to get because I've never been around it. But that was St Albans. That would be a lovely job. I always look at that as a they're like a bigger version of Hitchin. And then Hitchin, I live literally. The club's literally a stone's throw that way. My granddad played. My dad played. My brothers played. I played. My uncle was assistant manager. This is a club close to my heart, so. Yeah, they did pull on the heartstrings a little bit. Hindsight, terrible move.
So obviously you've gone in there under very difficult circumstances as it is. Eventually you was down. You couldn't. Was you down when you got there, or did you?
Nah, we weren't down. We
near enough.
Just that. Well, Sudbury had a great run at the end. But I think I got in there with 13 defeats on a spin. So. They weren't good enough, and that's sometimes just hold your hands up. You can try as much as you can, but and then obviously in the summer we got a reprieve late on and absolutely killed us. No 2 ways about it.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously this reprieve. I mean, for those that probably don't understand it, they were relegated down to step 4. So Brett's come in. He's had to build a whole new side to compete at step 4, and then literally how many weeks before the start of the season was it?
Well, I got told in the first week of June. So we finished. We had 5-6 weeks of prepping for step 4, picking friendlies, getting players in, and then you have once the pre-season started in June, so you had 3 weeks to change.
3 weeks, and then obviously so you got the reprieve. Obviously, you must have been delighted because that's probably what you wanted to do. You wanted to manage your club in step 3 at the time. Obviously,
on the flip side of that, do you think you'd still be there if you were at step 4? Because obviously the way you planned it, you were getting the players in for step 4. The whole club was geared then for step 4 after going down, and then being stuck at step 3, it was always going to be a challenge.
I said this from the start, like the club needed a reset. They didn't. Going down gives everyone a kick up the arse. That's just the nature of the beast. The fact that it was reprieved for probably some 50% of the fans and some of the committee, and that was over the moon because it's that we're at step 3. Look at the grandiosa of it. That's bollocks because you need to go down, start again, cut your cloth accordingly, have a clear out, and you can start doing things your own way. I tried to do that, but was hit with a little bit of a roadblock because the club had done things a certain way for so long, and you couldn't make them sort of changes that you want to make. And also, you can't go and get the players you want to go and get because you're not planning for them. You weren't planning to be a step 3, and Hitchin don't pay enough to get step 3 players. Drop down to step 4. So that's the simple answer to that question. I think you're right, Dan. I reckon would have been a big fish in that league. And looking at the league this year, Welsh, you've seen loads of it.
Yeah.
I don't think the fact that there's clubs up and around in players that I don't think are great. No disrespect to them, but I don't think Hitchin would be up there with Burko and Rail Bedford. No, it'd have been a 3-horse race, in my opinion. However, it didn't happen. We got stuck up into step 3. My team was absolutely crap for 7 games. I would say one thing. Of the first 7 games, I knew we were going to be struggling to start the season. To lose 7 in a row to start is a killer. No get away from that. The team weren't good enough. However, we just started to turn things around. I could feel it in the changing room. There's a few things that I wish I'd done earlier, which I hadn't done, which is it's all about learning. I know the hindsight. And then I thought, the lads that are playing now, most of them are just ones that I signed, and I think we'd have got there. But you never know. Listen, if someone offered me that job without it being Hitchin, I can safely say that I would have took it. If that as it was written up, this is your job. This is what the squad's like. I would have taken it because it was you're fighting the tide all the time. But there you go. Things have changed now.
So it was hard to turn down.
Yeah, you can't turn. Yeah, and it's you want to go. You're playing in front of 600, 700, 800 people a week, and it's down the road from me. So I can have a few beers after and wobble home.
And obviously, how satisfying was it that obviously you left Stotfold in such a great place, and then obviously your cousin he took over the reins from you.
I've told him stop fucking things up. Don't get relegated. We worked really hard. We worked really hard to get there. Yeah. I do feel for him. It's when you start losing games, it's lonely, isn't it? And they'll be all right this season. There's going to be 3 worse teams, and then I think they've got a good week this week. They'll go. Stotfold's a good club, and it's all when that success we had. It's always going to be tough for him, but I wish he'd stop being a fucking idiot about it and make sure we get some wins on the board.
Yeah, God.
So how did the obviously after you left Hitchin, how did the AFC Welling job come about? Obviously to go back down to step 6, was it kind of sold as did you buy into the project of it, or could you have were there offers at step 4, step 5?
No, nothing about it. I think there was one offer, but another club that was no ambition. I won't name them, but. You've got to be looking at that step 4 level. I want to be involved in a club that's going to want to push on.
Of course.
Like I said, with Stotfold, you take them there. That's your baby. That's why I do it. However, I don't want to be a club that's just happy to sit in and around mid-table, fighting relegation. Where's the ambition? It hasn't always got to be about money. It's just having the ambition to go up. And every time you take a step up, there's so much to do off the field in terms of getting yourself prepped as a club. It's hard. I understand that. I've seen it firsthand the last few years. So when I've known Toad, the owner, for a long, long time. Since we were 15, 16, we played together. We played against each other. Known him a long time. I've seen all the stuff on social media, and I was a little bit dubious. And he come to me and just said, "Would you be interested?" There was nothing really going on. I've been involved in football since, like I said, forever, since I was 25, and then I went away with the missus on holiday, come back, had a couple of weekends just on the piss, and that's no good. I thought I can't be doing that every Saturday. It's going to cost me my marriage and me liver and me bank balance. So I had a chat with him, and I did say to Toad, I said, "Look, I've seen all the stuff on social media. It looks like a bit of a circus, and I don't want to be part of that. Like there's a load of hoo-ha about who's got to play and what's got to happen." I said, "If I'm going to come and do it, I want to do it my way. I want to pick who I want to pick. I want to play. I want to play." And Toad's, for those that don't know him, Toad's a top lad. Like good. If he says he's going to do something, he'll do it, and he does. You've seen it all on social media. He's open and honest with what he wants to do, and you can't knock it if people don't like it, because he is as frank as he wants to be. Right, we're going to do this. We want to get promoted. I like that, and I like the fact that he's not worried about upsetting the old school way of non-league football. I mean, this is how it's always been. Nah, fuck that. We can do it our way.
We've talked
a lot. The social media side of it. I've been quite clear. As you've seen, I've got no interest in my 18-year-old telling me what a prat I look when I'm shouting at some kids on the bench. But that's the nature of the beast, isn't it? That's what. And I do get some good content, even if it is at my expense on a couple of occasions. But if we can start earning out of it, which I think the club are starting to earn out of it now, if it opens up a broader audience, which is what we always want, we want more people to come through the door. It's a new club. It's really hard to start a new club when you've already got a team set in the town. I mean, they're not exactly pulling up trees at the moment, so we're open to overtake them and build a club that has got this project right. We don't want to be part of it. There's no point in me going. I said I'd never go back to step 6. And I've been rudely awakened again the last few weeks about why I didn't want to go back to step 6. Because there's absolute brats at that level. I mean, I'm a prat, don't get me wrong, but some of the lads people have to deal with at that level, manager-wise, player-wise. You think, oh, sound a bit big time there, don't I? But fuck me, I've got to deal with lads telling me that they've scored 75 goals on a Sunday. Well done, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Yes. So, obviously, you took the AFC Welling job. How's it been going?
Yeah, but they were always in a good position. I mean, I could have done with them not losing, dropping as many points they had done, because it does leave it a bit tight. But when I came in, good side, and I thought, there's all the rumours about so-and-so's earning this and so-and-so's earning that, and he's doing this, and he's got to do that. And I was a bit wary, but mate, it's been brilliant. We've changed things a little bit. I've made it a little bit more professional. Well, not professional, a little bit more like a step 4, step 3 club, getting it ready for promotions. That's what we need to get the players in twice a week. There's only training once a week. Just getting things set as a football club. Off the field, they're doing loads and loads. I haven't got a problem. I'll leave Toe to do that. Leave the committee to do that. That's fine. On the field, mate, we've got James Potter playing for us. We've got Scotty Bridges, Dan Green. These lads have had good careers in non-league. So I ain't got to tell them much. Just come and do what you got to do. We've got a young goalkeeper who's very good. I've got 2 centre halves that, I think we come in on Saturday and the centre halves going, how did Barnett get on? How did Kettering get on? I'm like, what are you on about? And we're top of the clean sheet list apparently in the country now, 6 in a row. So I'm like, I need you to just, if we win an 11-0, at least concede 1, because there's 2 of you on clean sheet bonuses, so I can knock that. But it's going well. We've got a good group. We have got, like I said, there's no big time geezers down there. It's just a nice group. I said they're probably a little bit too nice. I want to be a little bit more like I was. Be a little bit angry. Be a little bit arrogant and start puffing your chest out and telling everyone what a good side you are. Because, like I said, we have got some good players. I mean, Jay Dillon's down with us now. I've got Kate Dagger at Stotfold, 2 good wingers. We have Dunk Cully who's been a pro. It's like, these are good players. They don't need me to tell them what to do. It's just get them together, find a way of playing. And the good thing now is, like you were saying, Welchie, like when my team was Stotfold, we had to set up and be rigid, be workmanlike. Now it's almost like, actually, we want to play. I've got players where it's allowing us to play. You earn the right, as everyone does, boot in the corner for 20 minutes. Hopefully you push the team back and then you start playing. But I mean, it is to watch some of these boys play. I mean, I've played against Bridger, JP, Greeny, and all that when I was playing, and JP is probably one of the best players I've ever played against, James Potter, when he was on. To watch him now at 35 after an ACL, still being that guy that can get you forward, can make something happen out of nothing on Welling's pitch, which is absolutely terrible. It's good to watch. And like I said, Toad, the owner, the chairman, they're doing everything they can to make it as easy for us as possible. It's hard coming in November because I want to change so much. You can't. You need to wait. You got to just, and obviously don't upset too much. So I literally kept the same squad for quite a while. We're now starting to make a few changes because the league's a lot more competitive than it was when I was there with Stotfold. That's for sure. There's when we won the league with Stotfold, there's probably 2 sides that were capable of winning it. This season, definitely 4 plus. There's probably another 4 that have been around the playoffs. So, and also we have to be sure. Listen, there's no getting away from it. Is that social media side, the amount of how Toe's been so vocal about how to do things. We'd have to be shot at. Everyone comes down. Everyone says when they turn up at our games, new haircut, all clean, all nicely shaved. They the bollocks for the live stream. Doesn't help.
Is it distracting with all the social media stuff going on in the background? Like if maybe your backs are against the wall and you've got a camera on you and you're trying to sort the team out to try and nick a win?
It's funny that, because I thought this when I went in, but within about 15 minutes, you forget they're there. And sometimes you forget they're there and you say things and you think, oh, fuck me, if that comes out, we're probably going to have to go to prison, let alone get told off by someone else. But,
like if you're allowed to turn up late to the bench.
yeah, well, they tell them, that's absolutely killed me. But how much we've got, the amount of traction that got in terms of sponsorship, and we've got a day with Tocker Social in a couple of weeks that they've seen it. It's little things like that, and it does help.
Yeah,
much as
it makes huge difference. Huge. Social media is massive in football now, and it's only going that way. Like even if we've spoke about this on the pod before, but even if you go back to the likes of hashtag when they started, obviously from YouTube, and then you've got Farnham and Dorking and all of that. It's definitely a way to monetize, I guess, how society is now.
Well, and not everyone's going to be able to come and watch AFC Welling, are they? They're all over the country. I think we're 40th in most viewed YouTube streams or something in the whole country. That's ridiculous. Like we're step 10 in the pyramid. Step 10 is like how we. I think more than 50% of the championship clubs. That's crazy. Well, I told you, said it's crazy a minute ago. My 18-year-old daughter had no interest in my football career ever. And all of a sudden, I'm there shouting and raving at two kids on the bench, and Dad, what's going on? That's me. I am that nuts when I play football. So yeah, you don't notice it as much, or you don't notice it at all now. There's bits in the change room that there's certain things that I'll say, look, now this ain't going on. This can't be done. There's a couple of things that came out recently. I did have a little whinge about, and I wasn't happy about. I said, look, I don't mind you using what I'm like, because I know what I'm like. I'm literally, even Saturday, I think at 8-0 up, I'm going mad at my goalkeeper because he didn't come and clean one up. But I can't. That's just how I am. And that's
standards, isn't it?
That's the problem. I can't help it. I'm a little bit tapped that way. But I always wanted to do was swap. But I don't want to lose myself in terms of, I don't want to stand there and keep myself to myself because I'm worried about the camera. I just said to him, don't make me look like a prat every week, or make me look like an absolute lunatic, because one, we won't be able to sign a player, and two, it's just going to give the wrong impression. But those that know me, I've always been not a loose cannon, but I will say my piece and I will get the ump about certain things. But I'm not that bloke, not all the time, am I?
Yeah, you don't want to lose your reputation of like going back to Stotfold and your other job. You don't want to lose that reputation of how good of an actual manager you are at non-league just because get views.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't. Yeah, I've had to live a bit. Listen, my dad was a bit of a Fruit Loop. When I came through, reps knew me. I'd get that reputation. You end up playing up to it, and then end of the day, you're getting sent off whatever it is, 38, 40 times. That ain't right. So when you go into management, you're trying to lose that a little bit. But I don't. That's what I said. Listen, sometimes I speak to all the boys. I'll get them individually. If something's going on in their personal life, I like to make sure if there's anything I can do to help, I'll do and help them. But if you're not going to turn up to the bench on time, then you're getting told you're a fucking whopper. Get on the bench, make sure you're ready to go. I had one lad walk up the stands, high-fiving his mate. Just the 5-3, get in here.
I think that TikTok, I mean, it caused a lot of debate, but I mean, obviously, I've known of you, and I've seen you in the dugout for the last few years. That was not up to the cameras. That's exactly what you're like. That's exactly what you're like. And another thing is,
there was no script. There was no the cameras there. That was just me losing my rag.
Another thing is, you need to look at it. If you was to get an injury in the first opening 5 minutes, I mean, Harry Collison, by the way, he's in my non-league. He speaks very highly of you in the group near enough every other day. Harry. But he even said, like, what if you had an injury in the opening 5 minutes, and then you're looking around for a fucking sub, and they're just walking around the back of the goal, like you okay, people might think it was over the top, but it's something that you can't be fucking doing as a player, but especially. Go on.
Since that day, I'll walk out now, and there's all 5 of them on the bench ready to go. So the worst thing about that one was I had my brother Callum on the bench, and he was the only one there ready to go. And I'm thinking, I don't want to be putting him on. Jesus Christ, that's the last thing I want.
He got a game Saturday, did he?
I had to give it. Well, we were 8-0 up or something, so I had to give. I think my mum texted me at half time and said, "Make sure Callum gets some minutes." he wants to play, bless him. He just. Well, Well, it's not because I'm really hard on him. And I think his legs went about 10 years ago, but he'll tell me he's been training. He's trying to get back out there. I said we've got Bridjo, Greeno, and JP. I don't need you. I've got enough old men in there. I need some young legs.
Yeah. So let's take it back to obviously the owner T. I've said it about Peter McCormack enough times. Every time he said he wants to do something, he's gone and accomplished that mission.
Yeah.
T is very similar. He wants to get AFC Welling up the leagues, and he's doing it exactly the same. Just how far, now you're there, I believe you will take them up. Just how far can AFC Welling go?
This season's massively important because you need to get at this level. There's no two ways about it. It's going to be tough. We need to get at this. And I spoke to T. When T spoke to me about coming down, I said to him, like, Rail Bedford's that's what you got to look at. Like, in terms of this, I've got a lot of time for Pete. I love how Pete done things. I love the branding. He's just ripped up Bedford FC and said, "Now we're doing it this way," and then basically fuck everybody else. We're going to do it how we want to do it. I've got a lot of time for that, and T's done the same thing. To's gone like, right, it wants to be a full-time club. I think it was 12 years. Now that's people don't like hearing that sort of thing.
No,
they class it as arrogance, but that's just a bit of self-belief. This guy's built 3 very successful companies. One's gone bankrupt years ago. He's come started again. He's done it again. So you've got to have a level of trust in what he wants to do. For me, as a manager, to have a man I can go and speak to about what do I need in terms of it's little things. I needed some new water bottles the other day. Like just a thing of water bottles. I said to him, T, I need some new water bottles. Tuesday night, there they are. It's so small, but other clubs, you just don't get that sort of thing.
It makes a huge difference, doesn't it? So these little 1%.
I've always used the Stotfold when we had Denise, the chairman's wife. She'd wash the bibs every Tuesday and Thursday. We'd tell her trying to be freshly washed bibs. It's tiny, but it makes such a big difference. Teams are saying he knows where we're at. Obviously, we've got to sort the ground out. That we need to get a hub. We need to get a base. I speak to him daily pretty much, and he's all. I don't know how he gets any work done because there's always something going on. Wants to get a youth setup sorted out. We've got a development side. Unbelievably, we've got a development side, and they had Bobby Dance playing for them for the last 2 months. I've dragged him out of there Saturday. He's gone and scored 2 goals. So our development team's throwing out good 38-year-olds. So if you're an event team and fancy a game, give us a shout because the development side is like an old people zone down there. But I think, listen, if I'm in charge, I said to Toad, if I'm in charge, if I'm not in charge, he's going to get to a point where, right, this is what we're doing. We're going to get a ground sorted. Dorking is a prime example. He looks at that and thinks, right, this is how I want to be. And what do they do? What do they have? 9 promotions in 12 years.
That's silly, isn't it?
And they've built their ground. Done it. And look at them now. They're when I was coming up through Dorking, were nowhere. I never heard of Dorking when I was
combined counties for a while, weren't they?
That's what I mean. So
it just shows it can be done. It can be done.
I like the fact that we're getting rid of the old school mentality and non-league. We have to do this one, and I think there's this time that. Well, it's all like I said about social media. Changes have to happen. We've got to get into this. We've got to get into this century. Help the new generation. We've got to move them, and they don't. That's the problem. We're still playing no games in August and September on a Tuesday. So when we get to this time of year trying to play Tuesday nights, I mean, how hard is it to just load the fixtures at the front and just play Saturdays from Christmas onwards?
Yeah,
they don't do that. Little tiny things. I've read somewhere today about signing players on. There's no central database. Just get a central database and put everyone on there.
We talked about this. That was on Twitter, wasn't it? You Yelts? Yeah, we spoke about this at the beginning of the episode. Some of the stuff that they suggested were brilliant, I thought.
Yeah, it was good, yeah. And I think they've got, but listen, you know as well as I do, Championship football, Premier League football, you're getting priced out of it now. You can't be going to that. You've got to get the younger generation involved, get them with their dads down. How do you do that? Lower prices, get the social media side of it on board. Much as I hate it, much as I hate having to, they ask me for a score prediction every Saturday before we go. I'm like, Maddie, fuck off. I'm not giving you the score line. I'm not telling you anything like that. But it needs to be done.
Yeah. How you attract, you look at Farnham, they've done it brilliantly over the last couple of years.
Yeah, what's he do? He's because he's got money, isn't he? The bloke at Farnham.
Yeah, Harry had they were in our league last year
That's it.
in Combined Counties South. He owned a digital marketing company,
He
I
sold
think,
it, didn't
and sold it for an absolute obscene amount of money. I mean, the bloke was only 28 when he sold it.
he? Yeah, that's
And
right.
he grew up in Farnham, wanted to buy the club that was his local club and take it to as far as he could. So he got he got knocked a lot when they first took over. Because again, it was change. People weren't used to it. It was all, like you said, it came across as arrogant. It was all singing, all dancing. But for the way he's transformed, not only their attendances, but the stuff he's doing in the community, building the ground up. Yeah, he's doing an absolutely fantastic job, and obviously online as well. Like you said, Welling were in the top.
I think Farnham as well.
Yeah, Farnham are well up there. They've got an amazing media team, and he's doing it for the right reason. So I don't see them slowing down either, to be honest. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be that's all right. It's going to be Rail Bedford, Farnham, maybe Malden and Tiptree now.
Yeah.
Is a race to the top. So yeah, it's interesting to see, and I think a lot more teams are gonna, or a lot more clubs are gonna try and follow that blueprint.
But also it ekes out the shit that's been hanging around for years. Teams that ain't going nowhere. All of a sudden, they can't keep up. They're gonna have to just listen. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's dog eat dog. Like, why you've got teams that have been at step 4 for since I started playing. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I get it. Like, you're a village club, and I do. But where's your ambition? Why do you not want to be pushing forward? Why do you not want to? Like, be seen to be successful. And like, I don't know. It doesn't have to always be about money. Look at Hadley this year. Absolutely superb job he's done up there. He's top gaffer. I don't know how he doesn't get mentioned in any jobs that come up, because he's been absolutely brilliant for 4 or 5 years now. And like, they're living proof. You don't have to have bundles of cash. You see the good manager, good players, and they've upset the apple cart. And not this season, they made the playoffs because that's exactly what they deserve. And I tried to take some of their players start the season. Not interested. So it's definitely right. And that's what needs to be done. They've come up. They've not stood still. That's what you need.
Well, there's no point being in it if you haven't got the ambition to progress, have you? So
no, and that was the problem this season. At the start of the season, we were told to stay up, and that's. I don't want to stay. I want to go. Sadly, staying up after 7 games with the off was all we needed.
Right, I just wondered. Obviously, it's Stopfold and Hitchin. I mean, I'm not sure what the budgets were or what you had, but I'm pretty sure, like you said already, Stopfold was one of the lowest in the Spartan when you went up. But now at AFC Welling, just how different is it now that you could probably compete at Step 5 easy with your budget? So are you going to enjoy that? Because you've always struggled.
It's probably not what everyone thinks it is. But I think there's been a lot of, I can definitely say there's been a lot of shit spoken, really, because I know everyone's getting them. The fact that's refreshing is that Toad said, look, we've got a budget.
Yeah.
As soon as you say them words, you get all this shit come out of the woodwork, all the chancers, all the lads that just want a tracksuit.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a nice problem to have. I've spoken to 2 lads today that, if I was managing Hitchin or Stopfold, the relativity of it all, I wouldn't be speaking to these 2 lads. In terms of like what they can offer a team, where they can go, I'd be nowhere near being able to say, look, come down here. This does give you a different challenge, because what a lot of people don't know is that I had to cut everyone's money just after Christmas because it weren't working. That is hard when you're a new manager coming in, because it's obviously fair play to all the boys jumped on board. They were like, said, look, we can't go on this. We're not going to finish the season with what we've got. The budget's the budget. I'm a firm believer. If you tell me I've got £10 to spend this week, I'll spend me £10. But it's not my money. I spend it as my own money. The good thing is now, listen, we all know there's clubs at my level, at the Step 5, at Step 4, the clubs at the top, they need to have a good budget, and there's no getting away from it. I said this when I was at Hitchin. Biggleswade and Hitchin, probably the worst 2 budgets in the league. Where are Biggleswade and Hitchin? Bottom and second bottom. So everyone goes, it's not about that. It isn't always about 100% get it, but the higher you go, the more you need to have a decent budget. Step 6 and 5, you can do it with mates. You can do it with getting people on board socially, which what I've always done. As soon as you get a step forward, that's what they talk about. And the thing is, it has got worse as well. I didn't really care what I got when I played, but that's the truth. I was never in it for money because I couldn't command money. So, but now it just seems like, first two questions: when do I get paid? How much do I get paid? And where's my tracksuit? Where's your tracksuit? Fucking hell! Just wear your normal clothes for the time being. Jesus Christ!
But do you think that? I think social media's got a lot to do with that as well, though.
Yeah.
On the flip side, the flip side of
Negative
social media within non-league.
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree. I'm a firm believer. So I had this chat with Toad the other day. I also think you should turn up, look in the part. I think everyone should have a track. So I get that. You should have. You should. Everyone should be the same. I think it sends a message. I also think if you're 6'4", 6'3", and you walk in with your tracks on, it can intimidate people a bit. But it's like, Jesus Christ, these look like a proper side today, don't they?
Yeah. Well, it's presence, isn't it? It's perception.
It's perception. If you walk in at different times, like if I tend to get at 1:30 and we're walking in at 20 to 2, 1:45, and you've got your jeans on, it just looks a bit shit. It looks a bit raggy. I said it looks like Sunday mornings, and that's what you pay for. I think like I said, the higher you go, the lads that drop down, they're a bit more disciplined. That's why they've gone and played higher levels. Yeah. The lads at step 6 are playing at step 6, a lot of them, because they won't train. They've got no discipline. They've got no desire to go and push themselves and not be the big fish.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But so obviously promotion this season, I didn't realise how tight it was at the top, honestly, till I came on. But obviously you are currently second, 1 point behind Moulton with a game in hand. You've got 3 games in hand on Urchester, who you drew 0-0 with a couple of weeks ago. Is it safe to say it's yours to lose? Yeah.
No. Desborough, the team. I think.
Got 3 games in hand. Yeah.
They've got 3 games in hand now, so I think they go 4 points clear of us if they win them. But we have got to play them twice, so it's going to be good. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. It's this end of the season. We've got points on the board. I'd like to think we should make the playoffs now, regardless. We're in a good position there. Moulton are absolutely flying. I think they've won 7 or 6 or 7 on the bounce. They're a tough side at home. Urchester have just fell away a little bit recently, but Eton Stoke, good side. Ampthill, not a bad side, but I think Desborough are the ones we'll be up against. It's tough. I don't know. Like I said, we've got a good side, but I lost Jack Allen last week, my top goal scorer, 24 goals, whatever he had. He's out for the season. I lost Nathan Isherwood with a broken patella last Sunday morning. For fuck's sake. Broken. So he's out for the season. Jack Bradshaw, he's pulled his hamstring. So I lost 3 in a week. So we've got to recruit. We've got to recruit a few. But it's going to be interesting. Desborough home and away. Moulton away. Eton Stoke at home. Ampton away. They'll be the games that define it. I think if we can take 4 points from Desborough and a point from Moulton, I think we should be in around 1-2. So I want to win the league. I said this someone the other day. We didn't want to come into win the playoffs. However, Desborough, they're in the box seat. They've only dropped points in 4 games, I think. So we have to win. They're the ones we have to watch.
Yeah, go on, Dan.
Would not winning promotion almost be a failure in your eyes this season?
Massively, yeah. If we got in the playoffs in the final, you know as well as I do.
One-off, yeah. And
one-off game, anything could happen. So, but if we lost in the semi-finals, we didn't make the playoffs, it'd be a massive failure, and it puts the club back a couple of years really, because the lads we've got in are here for a reason. They want to be pushing the club forward. The lads we're getting in now are with one eye on next season if we get promoted. If we don't get promoted, there'll be a few that are just like, well, I'm going to go elsewhere, which is fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'd love to win the playoffs. So.
Yeah, I mean, playoffs are obviously a lottery, but it's much better now. So right now you're at AFC Welling. I just want to know. Obviously, you've gone from step 3 down to step 6. Is AFC Welling? Is that you now that you want to progress AFC Welling up the leagues, or is your ambition to still manage as high as possible? So you mentioned St Albans City earlier on in the show. If St Albans City or someone in and around that did come in for you right now, or in the summer or something like that, Like, where would your head be at? Or is it right to ask that? Or
I think you've got to be realistic with it. You know, like who's going to failed step 3 manager? So I mean, I do 20 games at step 3. Would I win 3 or 4? That ain't that's not a CV to go and get anyone off their seat and come and get me. The Welling job is definitely one I looked at and thought this is definitely like Stotfold. This is one where we can. If there's a project, we can push it forward. Like I said, it's all about and what I've learned is you pick a chairman. I was really lucky at Stotfold, great chairman, like really helped me out. Not so much at Hitchin, and then with Toad, another great chairman. Which the fact we're friends first, that helps, I think. But friends and football don't always mix. Listen, he might turn around one day and say, "Look, I've got a better offer. I've got a better manager I can get in," and you just have to swallow it. It's likewise. There might be a club that comes in. I'm like, oh, I'll be able to turn that down. But I don't locally. There's not a lot out there. You look around. I don't know. Like you look around at some of the clubs locally. There's not that ambition. You know, you said Real Bedford, one of them. Bedford Town have gone it. They're going to be gone next season. So the Biggleswades, are they? I don't know. And then you look at Hadley, Levy, all that step 4. St Albans ain't coming in for me. Much as I'd love it, they're not going to do that. Hitchin ain't going to come back in for me. So I
think you're being a bit hard. I think you're being a bit hard on yourself. I mean, it's very well noted that you got completely stitched up with the thing, and obviously, I mean, teams around here everyone knows that you are not really stitched up, but you were dealt a really shit pack of cards for the Hitchin job, and it doesn't define you. It never defined you as a manager, and no one's ever, well, from what I've seen, no one's ever defined that Hitchin spell as your manager, because currently you've done amazing jobs everywhere else. So I still think that you've got a massive part in the non-league game as to go really high as a manager, personally.
No, I appreciate that, Richard. The other problem I've got is that how I'm perceived, how I am. I'm not one to. I won't play the game. I won't tiptoe around things. If something's got to be said, I'll say it. But we're saying people don't like that. They don't want to hear their manager telling the truth, or they don't want their manager to be outspoken. If something's got to be said, I'm going to say it, and
say it. Yeah.
That does that. Listen, that puts people off. I know how it is. I'm not deluded to think my disciplinary record, even as a gaffer, absolutely horrific. I think what have I had? 4? No, 1, 2. I think I've had 6 reds as a gaffer. Absolutely terrible. But someone goes, "You're going to work on it." Actually, I was actually told. I won't mention who it was, but I was actually told I need to smarten myself up if I want to be a gaffer. I'm like,
no,
what about getting your hair cut? How about you fuck off? Well, I'm not getting your hair cut. I know. I'm an older geezer. This just about hides it. I've got to keep it. I don't know. I love my football. I love being involved in it. I love the league. I love it. It's my. Listen, I spoke to Yella, who's an assistant gaffer at Slough, and he goes, pretty much you just said there, Welch, doesn't define you, but you're that football guy. To a lot of people, like, oh, Brett, he's involved with football. And when that was gone, that's the first time I've never had not been affiliated with a club, was when Hitchin sacked me. It's only a month, and I don't know. It's sort of I was at a loose end. I didn't know what to do with myself really, and as much as I didn't really want to go back down to step 6, it was sold to me that this is a good club to get involved with. You get sucked in again, and I think probably for the first 3 weeks, I was a little bit like, fuck's sake, I'm back down here. I don't want to do this. But all of a sudden, you get to know the lads. You get to, like, me and my brother. Me and my brother never worked together. We've played together, but it's the first time we've worked together, and we're very similar. He's a fucking absolute weapon, really. But he talks a lot of sense. He's very passionate, and it's hard because he's my little brother. But we have a chat most days, and that's been another good thing about going here, is because much as I love my football, speaking to my brother about it's a lot, because I know he's not going to stab me. It's my brother, isn't it? We're going to look after each other, and that's what I love. And Leon Gutsmall's down there, wealth of knowledge. Like, he's been brilliant since we come in. Like, everyone always says, like, when you come into a job, you've got to be careful you keep around. And I've known Guts for years anyway. He used to live down the road from me, so he's been brilliant. And I think it's just getting back into that as a manager, you don't. As a player, you're mates with everybody in the thing. All of a sudden, as a manager, you're a little bit isolated, and you need that good team around you. And all of a sudden, after Christmas, I did feel a bit rejuvenated, and going to games and speaking to players and trying to make the squad better. And all of a sudden, you get that fire back in your belly. And it's been, I think personally since Christmas, I've been better as a manager of AFC Wellings than I was before Christmas, because I think I was still sulking a little bit. And yeah, so
maybe it'll be a blessing. Maybe it'll be a blessing in there.
I'll make you right. Like I said, I think probably a worst move I could have made at the time. I was doing really well at stop folding.
Yeah.
But then is there a ceiling there? That's what I was always scared of. And you don't want to be the guy that gets them to there and then you go past your sell-by date. And I've never wanted to do that. As a player, I didn't do that. I knew when the time was right to leave any club I was at. And same as a manager, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be that guy that hangs around. Just fuck me off. But give me more than 20 games though.
It seems like you're enjoying it anyway. That's the main thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Enjoying the game. If you're not enjoying it, and it's fucking no point.
You've got to
get
good lads involved, didn't you? Like I said, I've been so lucky. Like you spoke to Mace. Mace is a top lad. I got him involved with stuff. I played with Mace. When we used to go away to pitching, we'd have baths together. We used to have all that proper good lad. I've got to know Woodsy, Jack Woods. Yeah. Got him. He was the first one assignment to Welling. He's only played 20 minutes. He's absolutely useless, but what a top lad. I like spending my time with them boys. But I was saying, down at Welling, we've got some good characters down there. I like a lad called Connor Clark. Now, he's been with me at Stockfold. I played with Connor when I was playing at Itchen, and I brought him in. I mean, he's the most boring human being in the world by a mile. He still likes wrestling. So, but what it makes going to training enjoyable, and I like lads that make it enjoyable. I don't want yes men. There's no point. It's just I don't want to be everyone is.
We don't want to spend your time with people you don't want to be around. So it makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Mind you, I did take Callum as my assistant, so. If I don't spend any more time with him.
Oh, brilliant! Listen, Brett. Honestly, thanks for coming on, mate. It's been
been brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Really
it's someone that we wanted to get on from when we started.
Yeah, for day one.
Listen, really good luck for the rest of the season. Me personally, I've been since AFC Welling were formed. I mean, I don't know if you knew, I was the one that designed the badge and got it all fucking wrong with the helmet.
No way.
I put a helmet on it and it weren't the fucking. I was the main guy for that. I did the badge, but I got it completely wrong. And James Kilroy, I know the little ding dong with him, but I think you've got a great media team there.
His heart's in the right place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's and that little thing last week, I feel like every time you're winning, it's brilliant, but every time you lost, he's writing an essay, and I'm thinking, listen, it don't sit well with clubs. You know what I mean? I lost. I was just backing you up. Like, you know, you got to draw the other week, and there was a massive essay. Just fucking take it on the chin, which I know you probably do anyway.
I've told him a few things about stuff like that. Like,
I was just sticking up for the club because obviously I'm in a group now with over 110 admins, and AFC Welling, they were just fucking getting hammered, and I felt in a way, I felt like, oh god, but I've got such a soft spot for them. But in the end, I had to just say, look, just calm down.
Thing is, you don't want to be liked. That's the problem. Don't be. I said to someone else, there's nothing wrong with being disliked.
No, you're right.
They're talking about you, aren't they? Don't be the nice guy.
Engagement's there, yeah. No,
yeah. But things that, like I said, even with like someone else this weekend, Timber Clinic, which is quite good actually. James weren't there, no game on, no social media. I'm getting people asking what was the score. I'm thinking, are they winding me up? We won 11-0. Yeah, what was the real score? No, we did actually win 11-0. I know we've not scored any goals since I've been there, but
James has been great with me since I started. When I started, he was the first person I always used to go to, and he is brilliant, absolutely excellent at what he does, and he's completely transformed that club to fucking being one of the best.
His heart's in the right place. He wants it pushed forward. I mean, I've been at my favourite. If you went through our text messages to each other, I reckon every third one of mine is "fuck off, Kilroy." So that's he asked me for the team on a Thursday. Yeah. James, I don't know the team till about 20 to 2 on Saturday. So how are you gonna know? But so you're the guy to blame for the shit badge. What about the pink kit? Is that you?
Well, I got told. Yeah, basically, it was meant to be a massive fucking transfer, a 2.5 million deal with a couple of summers ago from Coney Heath to fucking AFC Welling. I was in the group for AFC Welling, then I bottled it because I'm so loyal to Matty Day. So I've told them, I've designed the badge and all that, and eventually I declined AFC Welling to work with T and all that.
Yeah.
But whenever Coney Heath don't have a game, I was always down there anyway, supporting.
Yeah. I think a few commentaries.
Yeah, I've done a few commentaries, but it weren't till fuck me. I don't even think. I think it was quite recently. James, that goes. You called the Romans, and I've put a Spartan helmet on instead of a fucking Roman helmet.
Who knows?
And
Should have got a little bit more Welsh.
No one's looking that up, are they?
No, well, James Kilroy, funnily enough. So for the first season, the whole badge was fucked, and then I think the start of the next season you rebranded it, but. Yeah, that's it. I'm a massive fan. I appreciate the work that they all put in, and I really am looking forward to seeing where. Well, now you can take this club.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, lads. Much appreciated. Love chatting.
No, superb.
Yeah,
I'm
it's been
sure
brilliant.
Taking part, mate. Cool.
And
Lovely,
we'll
lads.
probably
All the best.
get you on soon. We'll get you back on. We'll get you back on when you've won the league. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that might be 4 years now.
You'll be in fucking Arts County League by then.
Yeah, I might win that one.
Oh, cheers, Brett.
See you later, lads.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you soon. And that was Brett Donnelly, the AFC Welling manager. Very enjoyable, and he's very level-headed. If you don't know about his antics, head over to the AFC Welling Twitter.